Sunset
Good morning.
Country.
Good morning.
And happy
Canada
Day.
Woo!
Very exciting.
I love it.
149 years today.
149 years, that's right.
Amazing.
1867 we started. 1967, Leafs won the cup. Yes!
And Dave is still talking about it.
That's right.
Was that the last time they won the cup too?
Well, yeah.
Moving on, we have a jam-packed show
We do.
for you this morning.
Yes.
We have Heather Graf from Tourism.
We do.
Coming in to talk to us about One Horse Town.
Yes. Miranda Elder coming in from the Northwest Health Unit to talk to us.
We have Nan Norman in to talk about the homelessness shelter.
That's
that
right.
conversation that is still ongoing.
But we can't have the show without talking about last weekend.
The flooding.
We had a bit of rain.
109 millimeters of rain
at that.
fell. This is coming from Kathy Alcock, her property, which is right across the street from Veterans Drive, where that road was closed because it washed out.
Look at that.
20 roads in the region were moderately to extensively damaged, declaring a state of emergency for the city of Kenora.
Yes.
So this, of course, will allow us to gain access to provincial funding, which is great because huge costs will be associated with all of this damage.
Certainly
Look at that.
will be. Look at that water going. Darn those beavers, because beaver dams helped it.
Yes, I heard a lot of beaver dams
that's right.
were breaking. So the beavers will be busy once again. Essex Road, of course, was the latest closure out by Hooterville and Hidden Trail.
Yes.
So watch for detours. You know, put some extra time in there.
That's right.
Before you head out.
Yes.
Coming up, we have some life advice.
Yes, from the
valedictorians.
Yes.
This will probably be a very good feature.
Yes.
You know, it's been a long time since we both graduated. So here is Alyssa Woodbeck and Daniel Filippo and their life advice and what it's like to graduate.
Graduate now.
Graduation is a special time of year. I'm joined with Alyssa and Daniel, who are graduates of St. Thomas Aquinas High School. They're also the valedictorians. And I wanted to ask you, what's it like? What does it feel like right now for you to have finished such a big accomplishment? Alyssa?
It's kind of just surreal right now because we technically haven't gone through the graduation yet, so I'm not really sure when it's going to sink in, but it's really surreal.
Definitely. And what about for you, Daniel? How does it feel to be sort of finished up school for now?
It's a huge weight off the shoulders. I mean, like less to study. I mean, you can finally relax, and it's just once this is over, then enjoy summer.
Yeah, summer is a good time of year, right? Do you have post-secondary plans?
I'm going to Kelowna to UBC just to take 4-year sciences, and then wherever else after that.
Just to take 4-year sciences. Oh, no big deal, science. And what about for you, Alyssa?
I'm going to the University of Calgary and will be taking a Bachelor of Health Sciences and majoring in biomedical.
Hey, those are awesome goals for you guys. Fantastic. Now, being that you've lived, are you 18?
Yeah.
18? 18 years on this planet has served you well, I'm sure. Any life advice for anyone who's watching, who, you know, really could use a little inspiration?
Believe your teachers when they say don't leave things to the last moment. Get it done as soon as you can, because then, I mean, less stress. That's a big bonus.
And in life, right? Not just with you.
Yeah, that's true.
Awesome. Good. I'm going to take that one. That's a good one. What about for you?
I'd probably say the same thing, like that's a major thing, but I'd also say like get involved with things and like do things that are outside of your comfort zone and see how it goes. Take chances.
Excellent. I like it. I had a chance to preview their speech for the graduation ceremonies, and you talked a lot about following your dreams. Would you say that you have followed your dreams to this point in life?
Well, yes, but I feel like there's still like a far way to go and I have to discover some more, so we'll see how that goes.
I love it. We're going to leave it there. I'm Shelley Buchhold for Good Morning Sunset Country.
Well, thanks for that great advice. Coming up next, Deb's going to sit on the couch with Nan Norman. You're going to talk about some of the issues facing the emergency shelter situation in Kenora. So come back with us in a few minutes.
Welcome back. We are now joined in the studio with Nan Norman, who is from Making Kenora Home. Welcome to the show, Nan.
Thank you for having me.
We have been in talks for a while now in the city with the homelessness shelter.
Yes.
The city has recently declared a state of emergency.
Which is good news.
Which is good news. Can you explain to our audience why this is good news?
It's good news because there is an acknowledgement of how serious our situation is. Our homelessness numbers per capita are higher than Winnipeg's. That's a concern. We have to have a full continuum of services operating, and we've hit this problem with the emergency shelter. And you can't have a social safety network without an emergency shelter.
Agreed. Can we talk a little bit about the build-up to the point where we're at? The current emergency shelter, which is being run at the Fellowship Center,
Yes.
they've been exhausted.
Yes,
This
they
is
announced
not
5
news.
years ago
Yeah.
that they needed to be done.
Yes.
It was beyond their mandate. They stepped in originally and went full time to help the community. They've been asking for help for some time. So, I mean, you have the right to retire.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, right?
And-
And especially with this topic,
Yes.
it is a community issue.
Definitely.
I don't believe that it should fall on anyone's shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
It should be taken on by a community.
It's not a church issue.
It's not a church issue.
It's a community issue.
So Nietzsche has stepped up to the plate.
Yes, and with the help of KDSB, they have put together a model that is workable. Now, according to the provincial policy, which was issued in 2014, all emergency shelters have to be auxiliary to a support service.
Right, which
Okay.
makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense
'Cause
in
these-
terms of delivering.
Absolutely.
And the other point that the province said is they have to be within a community hub.
So let's talk
Downtown
about community hub.
Kenora is our community hub.
Yes, because that's where all our social services are.
That's right.
Our soup kitchens, because we're talking about people without means of transportation.
That's right. And most, if you take a look, you will see Kenora. One of the unique features of Kenora's homeless population is the disability. Between the mercury poisoning, the high rates of diabetes, the lost limbs, the high rates of arthritis, and the health unit will confirm our numbers are way off the racks.
So let's talk about the zoning. So of course, our community hub is downtown.
Yes.
Currently, right now, even the spot where the shelter is currently located is not zoned
Yes.
properly.
Our current zoning that was approved in 2015, it allows for emergency shelters in residential areas, which most people haven't been talking about.
Right.
It's a residential area. And
Well, and I could see that.
that's what's allowed. Now, the other part that's in the zoning is that if an emergency shelter is located in a residential area, that is the only service that's there.
Right.
No downtown services. So the amount of money that it would take to have a house that, like, even if we get out of the funding issues, have a house that's empty during the day, we manage to transport everybody there at night, take them all back to the community.
Yes.
It's not workable.
It's not working.
An
So-
amendment had to happen.
So where was the bump in the road here?
I think it was, of course, Mayor Dave has been really clear and eloquent in saying that you will always have NIMBYism, not my backyard. Every development has always been resisted, and that's human nature. Now, unfortunately, it got escalated, and it got escalated with a whole lot of stories flying around the community that haven't clarified anything.
Yes, well, and
Yeah.
that's an important issue, right?
Yeah. One of the headbanger statements I heard was about one member stood up and said, social services are not operating effectively because there was homelessness in 1970 and there's homelessness now. That would be the same as telling the hospital that they're ineffective because the emergency ward was busy in 1970 and it's not busy now, and it's still busy now.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, and I think homelessness will be something that we need to manage for
Absolutely.
forever. What is the community solution going forward?
We're going to have to zone because And it can't be site-specific. A site-specific zoning won't allow the service agency, the Nietzsche Center, to establish themselves anywhere because you can't negotiate for funding for a building that isn't zoned correctly.
Correct. So the sleep-in, I know
Yes.
there was a sleep-in protest at City Hall to raise
Yes.
awareness for this issue.
I was there.
You were there. It was well attended. We have
Yeah.
video of the events. You said a funny story about your grandson having an experience there. Maybe
I
you could
had two
lighten-
grandsons, and for the first part of the evening, it was lots of fun. Camping with Grandma.
Yeah.
It may have been on concrete, but it was fun. Now, unfortunately, his DS ran out of power.
which is
No
a portable
place.
device. Yeah.
He pouted about that, and then he asked where the washroom was.
Oh.
There is
yeah.
no public washroom available.
Yes.
He sweated for a few minutes. I said, well, where would the homeless go?
Good question.
Then Grandma pulled out her key. We walked 3 blocks to the office and
Oh.
used an indoor facility, but they were really hustling the walk till they got there.
So did it change his thought process?
The bathroom one scared the wits out of him.
Yeah. And the
And the
connection-
DS.
The DS.
Not having electricity
Yeah.
was a problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
That affected him.
Well, thanks for joining us today, Nan. I know that this is definitely a conversation that will be lasting in our community for
Yes.
a while now. The communication lines are open
Yes.
now. The city has, of course, released a state of emergency
Mm-hmm.
and,
We're very happy about that.
is committed to dealing with this.
Yes.
It is positive moving forward. You can go to the Kenora Facebook, Making
Kenora Home as a Facebook page.
to stay up to date with any
Yes.
releases on this topic.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us. Coming up next in the studio, Dave will be here with Miranda Elder to talk about youth and youth having troubles with drugs and some of the support services that they can use in our community.
Welcome back to Good Morning Sunset Country. We've got Miranda Elder from the Northwest Health Unit here. She is a peer support worker with the Northwest Health Unit. And Miranda, first of all, a peer support worker, a lot of us don't understand. What exactly is that?
So it's actually a peer outreach worker, but it's the same type of thing. The health unit saw the value in having someone with lived experience in addictions.
Okay.
So I am a recovered addict myself, and most of my clients are actually my friends. So they remember me as the real me. And now that I have all these supports behind me, it's kind of just a bonus. And
Yeah.
so the health unit saw the value in having a peer worker, and eventually offered me a position after a while of volunteering. And
Yeah, I understand you volunteered for a little bit before you got offered the position. Is that correct?
it was. It was. I mean, it's something that I kind of did naturally anyway. So in my peer group, I was kind of one of the people that people would come to with problems, that kind of thing. So it was kind of a natural fit, and I did some social work in college. So it was my ideal job. And for it to come after so many years of not having a job, not having a solid place to live, it was a welcome surprise anyway.
Okay. Now you've mentioned, maybe you've answered the question already, but what brought you into this line of work? How did you stumble into that, so to speak?
So it started back, through my 10 years of living as an addict, I've lost 9 friends to addictions. So 9 friends have passed away from drug use. One day I was walking down the street, and one of my friends called me into her apartment, and she said, I think our mutual friend is overdosing. And I ran in, left my purse, ran down there, and she was unconscious, not breathing. I tried to do CPR, and it didn't work, and she passed away. We tried to call an ambulance, and my girlfriend had a bit of an accident, and we were right downtown. I actually got some resistance getting an ambulance.
Yeah.
She unfortunately didn't make it. About a year later, the girl whose apartment it was actually took her life. So I'm the only one left from that day.
Yeah.
A few weeks later, a good friend who's actually now my coworker told me about a program called naloxone training. And basically, it's for someone that's having an opiate overdose. It's an injection that goes into the thigh. So I took that training and was asked to train other people, basically.
Right.
And that's how I first got involved with the health unit. So.
Now you work with more than just the city of Kenora. It's a regional.
Yeah,
aspect.
so not me particularly, but the health unit does cover the whole area.
Yeah.
So yeah, but for me, most of my clients are in downtown Kenora. That's just my client base, but yeah.
All right, and as far as what you're doing, have you noticed, what are the, what we call barriers? You see some barriers, there must be some out there. What do you face as barriers
I
doing your
mean, the
job?
clients themselves, there's lots of legal issues, right? So they have problems accessing services when people know exactly what those services are. So if they have conditions where they're not allowed to consume alcohol or use illegal drugs, they can't be seen going into some of these locations. So that's a barrier for sure. But for the most part, something that people in the community can help with is the stigma that people face. So,
Certainly.
yeah, I mean, just taking the time to, say hi to somebody, treat them like you always have, and, make them feel comfortable and understand that it's a process, and anyone can have a problem with drug use or addiction. It's not something that's maintained to what people perceive as a lower class problem or...
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's more than just the people you see.
Yeah,
there's
it's
than
more,
you see
yeah.
there.
People rarely have an accurate image of what an addict looks like, or,
All right.
so it's important to understand that it affects all walks of life. And it's not just a...
So if there were a message out to the community here to say, what that we could do as a community to help you out, and short message, what would you say?
Well, just number one, always be there for someone who's going through a crisis or an addiction issue. Throw more support at them, and try not to do the, call me when you're sober thing, because that never works out. So if you can be around them even more, be that person that's telling them about treatment every day, they're going to say no, no, no until they say yes. And if that person gives up, then that opportunity is lost for them to get treatment. So.
Well, thank you, Miranda, for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for giving us your time. Before we go, we have to get this out there. It's the one-horse town coming up. We want everybody to come on, get off your horse, and vote for the one-horse town. Deb and I are going to talk about it later.
Giddy up and welcome back.
Giddy up. I like that.
Heather Graf is joining us to talk about One Horse Town. Of course, we brought this up on the show before.
Yes.
It's very exciting for Kenora.
It is extremely exciting.
What is One Horse Town?
So One Horse Town is an opportunity for smaller communities, not large-scale centers, to receive a big concert like you would get in a major center. The concert for this year has Dean Brody, Rivertown Saints. So it's kind of the acts that wouldn't normally visit a smaller community. So it's a chance for us to win that opportunity.
And this is a collaboration with Coors and CMT, correct?
Yeah, with CMT and Molson Coors are the sponsors, but it comes with some really unique opportunities for the community.
This is what we're talking about.
So what's going to happen?
Yeah.
So not only do we get the chance to win this concert, which is only open to local residents.
Ooh.
You can only get tickets if you physically live in the community. So
That's
this is for
fantastic.
you,
That's
the citizens
great.
of Kenora, right?
Yeah.
Like it is
Nice.
only
Yeah.
for you. And our surrounding communities, First Nations communities and whatnot, have also been included in the Kenora area, which
Excellent.
is really exciting. So we've got that, but it's also a showcase of what small town life is. And we're not always small town, but it's different. The purpose is for CMT to showcase what small town Canada is, and it's different depending on where you go in the country. So not only do we get this really awesome concert in September, but we have the opportunity to get a 2-hour documentary showcasing the concert, featured with the backdrop up against the lake. But we also get 30-minute segments on either side showcasing Kenora and what it's like and how it is to live here for an international audience, because it's going to go into the US as well. So it's a really awesome opportunity for us to show how great Kenora is.
Well, and when we were
fantastic.
talking about being a one-horse town,
Yeah.
we have a unique approach at that with the documentary idea, do we not?
It doesn't have to be one horse. We don't really have horses here in Kenora. We have horsepower.
Yes.
And we can show our boats, we can show our motors, we
Yep.
can really show the country and Canada and the US what it means to be North America's premier boating destination. This is a really great
Fantastic.
opportunity to showcase who we
That's
are.
wonderful.
Who voted us in? Or how did
community.
we get to this point?
It was really awesome. They had an open nomination
Yep.
process, with photos and tweets, and Kenora received a significant number of nominations.
Oh,
and so then
did you know about this before it started?
Not before it started. And then once they started to get lots
Yeah.
of traffic, lots
Way
of
to
talk
go.
about Kenora, they contacted us to see if we'd be interested, and we said absolutely, but we aren't a one-horse town, we're a one-horsepower town,
Yeah.
we're more than
Yeah.
that. And so we want the opportunity to showcase what we really are, and
Wow.
they said absolutely. And so we said, yes, we're behind you, we'll support this effort in our community. They went and checked out a few communities.
Yep.
We were selected as the city to represent the entire province of Ontario.
Out of 1,000 submitted
That's us.
cities, correct?
Yeah,
1,000,
there's-
so we're down to
have
6.
We got down to 6. There's 6 districts. So there's BC, Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Ontario, Quebec, and Atlantic.
All right.
We were chosen to represent the entire province of Ontario.
Yay.
But we've talked already before the show. I understand we need to vote, right?
We
gotta
need to
tell people
vote.
we're
We need
down
to-
a bit.
Serious business.
Come on.
They don't show us the
Go.
numbers. They don't show us the numbers.
All right.
But the feeling we get is that we really need to push.
Okay.
And what's unique is you can vote from any IP address in every 24 hours.
right.
So it's not
Oh.
enough just to vote from your
Okay.
computer. If you have 3 computers, vote from all 3. If you have 2 cell
Every
phones,
day.
vote from
Fantastic.
both. Vote
Okay.
from your iPads, vote from your tablets, vote from every device you have. One person could be up to 6 or 8 votes.
Yay,
So
every day
yeah.
till
Every day.
July.
Spend this Canada
4.
Day. There you go. It's on the screen. Spend this Canada Day voting. Vote for Kenora. Canada Day is here. We've got lots of activities happening.
Yes, get down to the harbor
Yes,
front.
harbour
It's
front.
going to be such a busy
Yes.
day starting at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, we should
Well, and
remind
it's all
everybody
free.
also. Yes, it's all free, but we should remind everybody also. The province of Ontario, for the next week, coming up July 2nd to the July 10th, is Family Fishing Week for free. If you don't need a license, get your families out there and get some fishing done. We have a contest
Enjoy
going
it.
on here, Deb. We've got a
I
contest
know,
going.
this is very, very,
Take
very
a picture, get your fishing done. There we are, it's on the screen. Catchfishing.com, www.catchfishing.com. Get your picture taken, catching that fish. Send it off to us by, I think it's Tuesday. We've got 3 rods and reels we're going to give out to the people.
Yes, absolutely.
So we've got
Send
some
us in
contests.
their
Get their
photos.
pictures in. It doesn't have to be a big fish. It just has to be something. Catch
And it
something.
Doesn't
a fish,
have to be a
boot.
recent
I don't care
photo.
what it is.
Like we
Yeah.
live in Fishing Central.
right.
So
Send it
I wanna
off to
see
us.
a plethora of photos coming in.
Enjoy it. Get out there this Canada Day. It is Canada Day weekend. Our shirts there, our hats here, our flags here. We've got, and we do
Dave's
have to.
very excited
I
about
am.
Canada Day.
For
It
our
is a
regional
great
guys,
opportunity,
too.
and it's an extra long weekend
Yes.
because, of course, if you are American, July 4th falls on
July
a
4th.
Monday.
That's
so it's a perfect opportunity to have a big
Yes.
4-day celebration.
And real quickly, if you're in Dryden, go out to Cooper Park. They're having Canada Day celebrations today. Sioux Lookout at the beach. Wabigoon, awesome at Memorial Hall. They're throwing eggs, they're throwing pies, and they're having a hot dog eating contest.
Nice.
Have fun, but most importantly, let's stay real out there. Be safe,
Be
boating, driving, be real, stay safe, have fun.
Have fun, exactly. Yay, yay, yay.
Canada.
Awesome.
Awesome.